doesn't seem like it was 10 years ago at all. Feels like it was yesterday. Still remember it, mainly because we were on a mission in C-141 flying out of McCord. We were going to support our green-headed brethren from Fort Bragg, and they were down in South America and needed supplies pretty quick because they were doing something special. So we were hauling stuff down to them, and had landed at Roosevelt Roads in Puerto Rico the night prior. So our crew did the standard crew thing. We went down to El Conquistador, you know, a nice little resort where they had the Miss America pageant one time. We stayed down there, but it was a pretty nice place. And we had a standard crew night. Everybody did their dinner thing and then split up and went their own ways, either the casinos or whatever. So we showed up the plane the next morning. Everything was standard. Got the airplane ready, gassed it up, had all our special cargo delivered out of lockup, and got cleared for takeoff. And as we were cleared for takeoff, we pulled the aircraft onto the runway, and I was doing the takeoff and ran up the engines, and as soon as we were about to release brakes, tower calls in, cancel takeoff clearance, and we need your aircraft commander to come inside and call TACC. And immediately over interplane, I just said, all right guys, what'd y'all do last night? Did you not pay your bill or what? We were all joking about it. So we'd been idling for a good bit to get our takeoff clearance because of all the diplomatic clearances involved with where we were going and all. So we decided, let's go top off the plane, because they said top it off. If you need any gas, get it tonight because you won't get it tomorrow or any time later. So we decided to top off the gas, and we pulled into the fuel pits. And at that point, I decided to high truck it into base ops, which was just about a 200-yard run. So as we show up into base ops, I look over at the reservist lieutenant colonel who happens to be working behind the desk as a civilian. And I go, dude, what we do wrong? He goes, look over there, and he points at a TV. And I look over at the TV, and about that time, I see an airplane hit tower number 2. I look back at him, I go, it's a joke, right? It's got to be a joke. He said, no, it's not. And I said, oh, dear God. And at that point, everybody's world pretty much changed. Called out to the plane, told everybody to get everything off the aircraft that they want. We're going into lockdown. And I knew exactly what it meant. Navy was mobilizing. They were pulling their people out of everywhere. We had 6 families that were stuck in the passenger terminal with us for a while. We were all in lockdown in the passenger terminal for about 3 hours. And I just felt so bad. Some of those families are on their way home to New York, and they had no idea what had happened except for what was coming across the television. And at that point, it became very real to us. We were all in lockdown. We were escorted over. No more conquistador, no more fun times for the air crew. We just put our game face on. It's war had come home, and it was pretty scary at that point. We all went into crew rest there on the Navy installation, but that's where I learned, you know, the Air Force, we think we do everything just right, but the Navy, they know where their position is. Every man and every woman was carrying a rifle at that point. They were all combatants, and they were all guarding their installation because they didn't know what was going on, and neither did we. We kind of felt helpless at that point. Got on the phone with TACC, and obviously they had canceled all flights. They had shut down all aircraft, landed everybody, and we had specialized cargo on board, so we had to get that off and put that back into lockup. And then we, at that point, we decided, okay, what can we do? We've got a plane, it's fully fueled, we're ready to go wherever you need us. They let us take off the next day, but instead of delivering cargo, we picked up cargo. We took our brethren home because they needed to go to Fort Bragg to remobilize and go somewhere else. And we hightailed it back to McCord to grab all our chem gear and go to war. It was time, the game was on. So at that point, that's where I discovered that Life Support never ordered my chem defense suit. So since I was the only guy in squadron leadership who didn't have a chem suit. I couldn't actually go into battle. They decided, well, I guess you could stay home. So I had the honor of directing the crews from back home and being part of the base infrastructure, making sure everybody got out where we needed to go and get the cargo moved where we needed to get it moved. It was a long day. It ferreted out for the next 10 years, and it's hard to believe we're still in the same game. Proud of the people I've served with, that's for darn sure. And I tell you, there's no other better way to understand what the other services, how they react, than to watch them go into action. But the travesty that happened and the families that were involved are the most devastating part of it all. You know, the Green Beret that we brought home, 3 of them were from New York City. They had family that were killed in the tower crash. And those guys, they didn't even get the opportunity to go home. I said, suck it up, Buttercup, time to go. We got a job to do. And they were deployed elsewhere. So they literally had a 24-hour turnaround back at Bragg. That's tough stuff. Hard to believe, but here we go. Thanks.